everyone, my name is Brooke and welcome to my channel. So this video is about my husband and I's IVF journey. We've been trying to conceive for our first baby. So a little about our story and our journey so far. My husband and I got married in October last year. We had the discussion again about children, which we've had many times before. We had actually been trying for previously 6-7 months before getting married, due to myself having endometriosis and polycystic ovaries, which I did have some cysts and drilling on my ovaries in March last year, so we were at a higher chance of conceiving. Unfortunately, returning home from our honeymoon, we were still having no luck in conceiving. So we thought that my husband should get checked for male infertility, especially given his history. He's had cancer when he was a teen and underwent a lot of chemo and radiation. So we were already aware that there might be a chance that he might have, zero sperm count. So the main reason I wanted to share our journey so far with anybody who's going through IVF or that's about to go through IVF, I just wanted them to have some sort of insight in what to expect based off our experience so far. I'm very aware that everyone's experiences are totally different. Doctors are different, specialists, clinics, your circumstances, everybody's undergoing treatment for different reasons, or maybe you're just here because you want to learn more and educate yourself about the whole IVF process, which I think is great that it should be more talked about. It's definitely nothing for anyone to be ashamed of. I just basically want to make this video because I don't want anyone that's going through IVF to feel alone and feel like they're the only people going through this journey. You're not alone. There's so many people that have been through this so far, and you will do it. You can get through it. And if anybody ever needs to chat, I'm always open ears, or even just not to chat, It's good just to have ears that are willing to listen to anything or just get your mind off things, because something that I've learned through this journey is that not everybody's going to understand. They say they do, but they don't, and that's okay. First consultation, we were so excited, but it was very overwhelming. We've got a lot of information. That is probably the first appointment that we found out we would need a donor for us to be able to conceive, which we kind of had already come to terms with. So we learned a little bit more about the process of how it works on finding a donor and how IVF actually works, because we kind of researched, but we weren't 100% sure. So I'll attach a photo as well so you can see a little bit of how my IVF schedule worked. Again, I know every clinic's different, but it gives you a bit of an insight inside of my journey. So before we could select our donor and move forward with our process, we had to see the counsellor, just so that we were aware of all the laws, everything, how it would affect us, how it would affect our child, all that type of thing, which was fine. So we did 3 counselling sessions before we got access to the donor list, which we were super excited for. And can I just say, if anyone is needing to go through the donor process, again, I know every clinic is different, but just going with an open mind, because it might not be what you expect. I know for us, I was expecting a huge list with so many potential people, and the list was not huge. And then by the time you narrow it down to people, that want to donate to same-sex or heterosexual, single mums, etc., it is very difficult. There is not a lot left on that list. And they do not have to provide baby photos. For us personally, we wanted to see what they looked like as a baby, so we had a bit of an idea. The also thing I will say is, which we also got really caught up on, is forever looking at the list. We were always looking for myself or my husband. You're not going to find you. There is only one you, and there is only one of your husband. and that is so great. And you know, be open-minded, you know, maybe look for similaristics, but don't get caught up on looking for exactly you or him, or you know, or your wife, or whatever your journey is. Don't get caught up on those things, because yeah, like I said, you're going to be looking at the list forever. There is only one you. So, you know, look at similaristics, check out health. That is number one priority, should be. That was for us, making sure that there was no bad health diseases or anything like that that can be passed on, which usually it's filtered through anyway. I don't think that they would let anyone donate if they weren't, you know, able to. You'll be okay, you will find someone. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what your baby looks like. You're going to be so, so happy and so in love and over the moon once you welcome that baby into this world. You know, whether you're carrying it or someone else is carrying it for you, it is your baby. I'm a strong believer that anyone can make a baby in this world, but it's who raises the baby that makes a parent, and how you be a parent to your child. Finally chose our donor. God. Wasn't that hard, and now it just feels so easy. Next stage, after we chose our donor, was to wait for my cycle to begin, and then day 4. So day 4 after my cycle started, that's when I started my first lot of injections. It was 1 injection daily up until the 8th day. On the 8th day, we started 2 injections daily. And then on the 15th day, I had my trigger injection. And day 17, I had egg collection. So egg collection was very daunting for me. I think my biggest thing was, don't go on Google. Don't Google. Don't compare. Don't look at other people, just worry about you, because that's going to make you, you know, be upset or whatever. However many you get, that is great. You know, even if you get 1, for whatever you get, don't be disheartened. Don't compare yourself to anybody else, because that's what I was doing, and I was stressing myself out. So just don't compare. That's probably the biggest advice I could give. We woke up with the number 13 on my hand. I was then later called to say that there was actually 14. 1 was stuck in the tube, so they didn't count it. 12 of those were mature enough to fertilise, and then 7 of them came out and became embryos and survived. When it came to transfer day, we found out on the day that there were actually only 3 that ended up making it the full way, which was a bit disheartening, but again, totally grateful. They were 3, you know, good embryos that we had left, and I was grateful. So on the day, we decided to do 1 embryo transfer and put the other 2 in the freezer. So this was our first fresh transfer done. I'll put some photos up so you can have a look. By the way, I'm not a fan of transfer. 2-week wait. The 2-week wait was the hardest. God. I don't think I've ever watched 2 weeks so much in my life, forever counting how many days I'm down, what are my symptoms, what's everyone else doing on their 2-week wait, looking on Facebook groups to see people that transferred the same day as me, seeing what they were up to, if they were getting positive at home tests. I'm telling you right now, we are not great for ourselves. We do this to ourselves. We Google, we compare, we do everything else. Everybody is different. And God, do I need to take my own advice? Going into, you know, every transfer, I tell myself, I'm not going to home test, I'm not going to compare. And what have I done? I've done the same thing every time. And that's what we do. We're crazy. bloody hormone pumped women that just want to have a baby, and we want to compare and see what everybody else is doing. Don't do it. Stop. Just be happy. Weight was really hard because of all the hormone injections that we were having leading up. I already had all signs that were similar to pregnancy, so I was convinced that I was pregnant, and I also thought it would be super easy to get pregnant. So I definitely thought I was pregnant. I home tested, it was negative. I went to bloods after the 2-week wait, and it confirmed. Unfortunately, it hadn't worked. So it was just the medication that had made me feel that way. I was devastated. I honestly did not understand that it would be this hard. I always thought it would be super easy in this journey. Nobody can prepare you for what is to come mentally or physically, for what you go through. And I just think you just need to stay positive. Wake up every morning, be happy, don't look too far ahead, and just be grateful for what you have now. That's the one thing I would probably say. Take each day at a time. Don't think too far ahead, because we are our own worst enemy. 100%. So about 3 days after getting my negative, I decided to go straight into our next cycle. I didn't want to wait, and I felt really good. I knew what to expect. I knew what was going to happen, so I was pretty confident that we were going to get a positive next. So I'll insert a photo of our second transfer baby. The 2-week wait on our second transfer was probably the hardest for me. I was really sick with influenza, really high temperatures, struggling to keep them down, had to keep checking my temperature every 20 minutes, calling the clinic, taking Panadol, just couldn't shake the flu, and that was stressing me out and upsetting me. So again, not a great thing for when having an embryo on board, especially having a temperature. As we know, the heat affects the embryos, so I was struggling with keeping the temperature down, keeping my body cool and calm. At the end of the 2-week wait, my periods actually came earlier, and I was in severe pain. I ended up having to go to my clinic and get my doctor to assess me. We didn't know what was going on, and we're thinking that he's saying that the embryo looked like maybe it started to stick, but it didn't quite work. So at least we know that, my body can make it stick. It just wasn't the right time, and that's okay. It was really hard to hear at the time that, we weren't pregnant. Again, you go into this with so many expectations, and you really can't. You just got to go with the flow. So I just, again, you just need to stay positive. After this second transfer, I had decided that it was all a bit too much for me. And, I think that was a really good step for me now. Looking back, I didn't want to take a break, but I knew going into the third transfer was not a great idea. My headspace was horrible. Mentally, I was drained. I was all over the place. You want something so bad and you can't have it, and it's not happening. You're tearing your hair out. You don't know what to do. You're trying everything, and that's all you can do. You can only try your best. You're not doing anything wrong. When the time's right, the time's right, and when it wants to stick, it'll stick. And I have full faith that, my time will come. It's just about, when the right embryo is there. And we have one embryo left, so we're going to try again. And we'll see how we go with that one. They say third time lucky, and I'm feeling really, really, really positive about this one. We've had 3 months off. I'm in a great headspace. I'm healthy. I'm happy. So why the hell not? So fingers crossed, embryo number 3 works. And hopefully next time you hear from me, I'm going to share a little bit about our third transfer, and I'm going to try and document it a little more. So you can see exactly how it goes, and fingers crossed we have a positive result. Thank you so much for coming and listening to my video. If anyone has any questions or feels like they need to talk, feel free to message me. I'm always happy to share my journey with anyone. I'm very open about it and very honest. So yeah, let me know if anyone has any questions or wants to chat. But thank you.